Joining me now is National Senator Matt Canavan. Matt, appreciate your time this morning. A spokesperson for the Prime Minister released a statement late yesterday saying Anthony Albanese did not ever call Alan Joyce for Qantas upgrades. What's your reaction to that statement?
Well, it's just hard to believe a statement like this when the Prime Minister hasn't been able to answer simple questions about this in the past few days. I mean, these allegations now are almost a week old, and why couldn't the Prime Minister give this answer straight away? The answer still says only calls, not potentially other means of communication. I really think the Prime Minister should answer the legitimate questions that have been put to him by the media properly in front of a camera rather than relying on a spokesperson. And, you know, I still think here, given the nature of these allegations, given the seriousness of how it goes to the standards of the Ministerial Code of Conduct, there's a very strong case that there needs to be an independent investigation of this. The Leader of the Opposition suggested the National Anti-Corruption Commission, but somebody really needs to look at this rather than just go on the Prime Minister's word, given his conduct of the past week.
There's also a cloud over Coalition Transport spokesperson Bridget McKenzie's flight upgrade declarations this morning. Will the Coalition still seek a Senate inquiry into Anthony Albanese and his relationship with Qantas, or the Qatar decision, as you were saying, it should be referred to the NAC?
Well, as I say, I think there needs to be an independent investigation here. Obviously, I'll talk to my colleagues when we're back. We're back at Senate estimates next week. We won't be able to set up an inquiry during that, but I'll talk to my colleagues about what we may or may not do there. Obviously, we want anything to succeed. We don't have the numbers in the Senate, so we always have to be mindful of whether we have the support of others in the crossbench before proceeding down that path. But the Prime Minister has the power himself to refer himself to the National Anti-Corruption Commission. If he was serious, if he's confident he's done nothing wrong here, why doesn't he do that?
And do you think we'll be hearing from Bridget McKenzie today about her declarations?
Well, from what I've seen, I haven't spoken to Bridget, but from what I've seen is she's happy to refer herself on these matters. She's happy to look into any issues she's got with the declaration of her interests. That issue, though, is very, very different from the issue of the allegations before the Prime Minister about soliciting, allegedly soliciting gifts from a company that he had responsibility as a minister for. It's a totally different category. And once again, I mean, Bridget's happy, obviously, to look into these matters herself or have these matters looked into. Why isn't the Prime Minister likewise happy for a proper investigation to occur about the allegations around his conduct?
There was a meeting in Orange of the New South Wales Aboriginal Land Councils, and in that meeting, the Chief Executive of the Orange Aboriginal Land Council, Annette Steele, asked the Wiradjuri people in the group if any of them had heard of the blue banded bee dreaming story that Tanya Plibersek used to claim the Blaney gold mine could not go ahead at the planned site. No one at the meeting knew that story. What's your reaction to that?
It's not surprising, given the other things we've heard about this. We've also heard that apparently a mural, a painting on a wall, played a significant part in the Minister's decision to knock back this project and cost thousands of jobs for the people of New South Wales. I mean, the whole process just stinks to high heaven. And we've got a situation at the moment where the economy is struggling, people are finding it tough to pay their bills, to keep up with their mortgages. And we've got a government that's knocking back a gold mine. We could literally be making gold to help float our economy up. But the government's been rejecting it on spurious grounds. There's now another gold mine, an existing gold mine, that needs a very similar approval from the Minister. We'll see where she goes with this. But I think the original decision on the Blaney mine should be re-looked at, given all of these allegations we've heard since the decision. We haven't had a proper explanation about why it's been made. And once again, we do need to have a strong economy. We need to support our resources sector and we need to create jobs.
And should Tanya Plibersek confirm she'll only work with the local Aboriginal Land Council when it comes to this new application?
Well, I think what should happen in these cases is the views of the locals should be predominant. I mean, obviously Tanya Plibersek has to apply the law, and that might mean that she has to consider the views of others that might not be in that local area. But in my view, it is always the locals that are going to have the better information about the environmental issues that are involved, the community and social factors involved, and of course also the Indigenous heritage matters as well. It's always the case, in all my experience, it's the people that actually live in an area that have got skin in the game, that live the issue day to day, that are always going to have superior knowledge. These out-of-town activists that normally try and weaponise particular issues to pursue their own agendas, they shouldn't be given a predominant place in the decision-making framework that Tanya seems to have done here to knock back that Blaney goldmine.
Matt Canavan, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you. Talk to you again soon. Coming up, a year's worth of